Welcome back. You're watching World Talks, and I'm your host, Klaudia Czerwinska. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen is in Greenland for a 3-day trip aimed at building trust and cooperation with Greenlandic officials at a time when the Trump administration is seeking control of the vast Arctic territory. Does Greenland stand a chance of making its own decision as the pressure is mounting? This will be my question for my next guest, Kuno Fencker, Greenland's MP from the Naleraq Party, who joins me now. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Morning.
So in the past, the relationship between Greenland and Denmark was, some would say, rather strained. Do you think that the current situation is actually going to change it, or perhaps it already did?
Well, it's still strained, and we can only hope that the Prime Minister of Denmark is here to say sorry for all the atrocities that Denmark has done to Greenland, and also maybe come here to encourage people in Greenland to activate our right to external self-determination, our right to have a sovereign state, because Denmark literally annexed Greenland in 1953. So we want to get out of the current annexation, and we don't want to be annexed again, hence the talk we have in regards to the United States. We are not for sale, but we are open for business. And the only way we can get out of this turmoil is that we have the will in Greenland to become independent. But the whole law we have with Denmark is that we should negotiate with Denmark in regards to what kind of future we should have. That is in regards to the block grant we get, the annual subsidy we get from Denmark. And also if we want to stay under the Kingdom of Denmark, like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, or a Commonwealth system. And also in regards to citizenship and so forth. So the whole thing is already written in law on what we should do, but people tend to not to want to activate the Article 21, hence Naleraq Party is not with the new government at the moment, which is being inaugurated on Monday.
Mm-hmm. How do you view the recent expressions of U.S. interest in Greenland that to many people came completely unexpected and out of the blue, especially considering what you just said? Do you see it more as an opportunity, a threat? What's the sense there as of now, especially with all the meetings and all the visits that are currently taking place?
Well, I don't see it as a military threat, but I see it as a national, international urgency call on you have to do something. Every time we want to be independent, Denmark threatens with taking away our annual block grant, which is the subsidy we get from Denmark, and also that they will leave Greenland militarily, which means that we will end up in a military and security defense vacuum in Greenland, which the United States, of course, can't accept. So Greenland has never said they want to secede from Denmark. It's a negotiated agreement we want, as taking our sovereignty and also giving out some of our sovereignty after we become independent. And every time we do that, Denmark is using the words as seceding and taking away the economic annual subsidy we get. And that is creating the tensions between Denmark and Greenland, but also giving the opportunity to the United States to see there's a hole here which we can utilize and try to get more control of Greenland.
So do I understand correctly that what you're trying to say is that Denmark is to some extent responsible for this increased interest on behalf of the U.S. government?
I think they are the most accountable part here, because they have also promised the former U.S. administration that they will up the ante in regards to defense radars and surveillance and military equipment here in Greenland in regards to the sovereignty. And they haven't done that. They have first budgeted it right now and trying to up the ante now, but I think it's too late, because the US can't wait on 7 to 10 years for icebreakers and other kinds of equipment that is needed for the security of the Arctic.
So Mette Frederiksen is on a visit to Greenland this very moment as we speak. What is your assessment of the trip so far, and what do you think is potentially going to change after this trip is over?
Well, our government hasn't been inaugurated yet, so it's a little bit, double. It's like we have good morals here, hence the Vance family wasn't welcomed in Nuuk and Sisimiut. And even though it was a cultural visit, they called. And right now, Mette Frederiksen is here before the inauguration of the government. So they are showing that it's possible to receive high-ranking members of other governments, but maybe what you call it, the double standards is better than morals.
Mm-hmm. How do you think those tensions with the U.S. could potentially escalate? Do you think that this is more of a tactic of a sort of tug of war, so applying pressure and then pulling back, applying pressure and pulling back to get a particular result, or there could be further escalation? Not necessarily, hopefully, not a military one.
Yeah, exactly, and I think you're absolutely right. There could be more different theories on what's going to go on, and I hope it won't escalate more than it necessary. But I hope the Greenlandic people will realize that the only solution here to sort of save the Kingdom of Denmark and the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Denmark is that the Greenlandic people take the right choice and have a plebiscite in Greenland to choose independence and afterwards give out some of the sovereignty to Denmark in creating a union with Denmark.
I would like to ask you about the incoming Prime Minister, Greenland's incoming Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen. He won last month's parliamentary elections. He will form a coalition government, and he welcomed Frederiksen, saying that Greenland remains a close partner to Denmark. However, Nielsen is pro-Greenland's independence. So is there a shift occurring, or is the situation applying pressure on Greenland to try and maybe change the narrative a little bit?
Well, it seems like what they in their election program for the general election here in Greenland, they were talking about closer ties to the United States and even free association agreements with Denmark, the United States, or both, which is actually a copy of what I have said during the election. And now they're pulling out of that sort of narrative and trying to get a closer tie to Denmark, and that can be damaging to our work in regards to becoming a sovereign state, owning our own country, and still be under the annexation of Denmark. So I'm a little bit worried about that.
What would you say is the role that Greenland plays in Arctic geopolitics, for example, when it comes to increasing interest from places such as the US, China, and Russia? Because there is a particular focus. So you had the parliamentary election, and now all eyes are on Greenland as the world wonders what happens next.
Well, we are fully aware that Greenland is in the North American continent. We are fully aware of the Monroe Doctrine, the United States, and the national security of the United States in the North American continent. We are not in the European continent or the Pacific. So we are fully aware that we have to be very careful in choosing our partners here in this area. But Greenland has always been willing to do business with all parts of the world, including China and also, Europe and the United States and so forth. So it's only a matter of the security aspect. So of course, in regards to critical minerals and oil and gas, eventually, we will need to be more careful in regards to the international security concerns and geopolitical tensions we have in the world at the moment. So it's a matter of our government taking the right decisions there.
Our time is unfortunately coming to an end, but a very short, quite, I would say, personal question. Do you feel safe? And what would have to happen for you to have that feeling?
Well, I feel absolutely safe, and I don't feel a threat from anyone. It's just a matter of geopolitics and what kind of security that Greenland will provide with our partners in the future.
Thank you so much. Kuno Fencker, Greenland's MP from the Naleraq Party. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And so this would be all for now here on World Talks, but please do stay tuned. We have Diana Skaya coming up next with the latest news breakdown.